Okay. Fingers crossed that I've got enough time for the home stretch here. The home stretch. I mean, I was gonna just call it quits, but I figured, one or more of them would have ducked out or whatever, and then it'd be like, okay, it's just gonna be Jesse reading super chats or something, and wouldn't be worth it. But they apparently all stay to the end, so there's always a possibility they'll say something else interesting. So let's go.
That's hard, and I'm so sorry for you, and you have nothing but love and support from me, and I hope and pray that you have a strong support structure. That's paramount to all things. Find the people you trust and that you can turn to when you can't trust yourself to be strong enough.
Yep.
I fucking that was brave for you to share. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed with the things, and it's a testament, I think, to the way that we conduct ourselves in this community. I'm always impressed at the things that the chat is just willing to offer up and share in moments like these for solidarity and for that. It's awesome. Like nobody's can run around and call for.
Impressed by things the chat offers up, like the Super Simp saying, "Again, Tom, all you've done is awaken a sleeping giant and filled him with a terrible." Sound like such a moron saying that.
Say all they fucking want. They cannot artificially manufacture anything as open, honest, and comfortable as this without having to use words like safe space and manufacture the idea of being safe. No, being fucking safe. Having a safe space is as fucking simple as being a decent person and surrounding yourself with other decent goddamn people.
Mm-hmm. Can I make a request to people? Because I am seeing some people in the chat. I know a lot of you people. A lot of you people are my friends, or at least we've been friendly and we've always gotten along really well. And so I'll make a request, and I want to be transparent. I'm not asking you to walk away from Tom. Yeah. I'm not asking that of anyone. I'm not asking anyone to take my side, because that's not your job. And it's I think
except that's what they're all doing.
Someone that you haven't talked to specifically one-on-one about something. Yeah. I would ask that you not walk away from me either. I'd ask that you not to take my side, but if you will remember that I'm here, and that I'm still me, and we still know each other, and I'm still me, and I won't judge you for still talking to Tom. If maybe you won't turn your back on me. Because it would be nice to not lose everyone I love.
God.
In this process.
Well, you love
emotional blackmail.
Oh yeah. And that has been. I talked to Laura about it earlier, and I was like, I need you to hold my hand. Because it's really scary.
Yes, I'm here.
And I modded your boyfriend earlier, so I hope he uses that power well.
He's amazing. He and Miss have bolstered me. Like I've just been sitting there in so much silence with him, just sort of contemplating this thing in front of me and what it meant and the fear.
Interesting thing from one of her mods here. Kind of true, but I think maybe in the wrong direction, perhaps. The Fandom Menace doesn't seem so different from Hollywood now. It's always been a boys' club, apparently, and the women are humored and controlled. It's a real shame. Well, I don't, It's like Buck Adams saying, "Please stop. I love you all. This is like a breakup. It feels so weird." Super Simp saying, "There is no save spaces in this world. All you can do is be strong, find good friends, and to be on your side." Well, I don't know. I mean, just no, I don't know. I mean, there's just, like I said, it feels very much like emotional blackmail from the women here. It's like, "Oh, please don't leave me. Feel sorry for me." Yeah, just look, if you have an issue, then just either deal with it behind the scenes, like I said, or deal with that in the open. But if you're gonna deal with that in the open, give everybody all of the details. All the information, not part of it, not vague accusations and shit. Specific examples, evidence, etc., etc. And don't do this whiny cry, feel sad for yourself and want people to feel sad for you thing. Don't do that. Just say your piece and let the chips fall where they may.
Here that I will have so many people go, "We can't talk to her anymore. We're gonna distance ourselves from her. And what this is gonna mean for me in terms of who I can even message anymore and go."
And how many people are really saying that? I mean, the chat is full of simps. It's full of people being supportive. There's hardly anybody saying, "Oh, I got to distance ourselves from you." I mean, that there's probably some people, possibly Gary or some people like that, who are like, yeah, maybe we're not going to stream with with these crazy women who are saying fucked up shit. Well, that's not unreasonable in my opinion, and I mean, I don't know about Mary for sure, but Mecca at least, it's like, yeah, she kind of made herself persona non grata because, I mean, the things she was saying, it's like, yeah, that's bad for anybody. You don't want to be associated with that. Yeah, Mary, I don't know. I don't know if she said any crazy shit. As far as I know, she hasn't. But but whatever.
Hey man, you want to come on Wednesday night, man, so we can have a chat about this thing? And be like, oh, you know what, I'm really busy. And that would be the response that I'm going to get from just about everybody moving forward for taking this step. And so I've been...
Now, okay, so that's going to be. So I'm guessing that means that at this point, she's just like predicting that that's how everyone was going to treat her, which, as near as I can tell, is absolutely not how anybody treated her. She didn't. I mean, I guess we could pull up Social Blade and check out her channel or something. But I guess I could try to find it. I don't. Is her channel just called Mary Mayhem, or is it something else? I can't remember. But anyway, it's like, it does not feel like she, like right now or afterwards, she suffered any. It feels like, if anything, it was a boost to her to do this, to throw Tom and everybody under the bus, and whine and cry. It's like it seems to have gotten her more simps, more subs. It's gotten her a lot of sympathy. All the women in the Fandom Menace rallied around her. And she got, like, the very next week after she did this, she's on the High Council replacing Tom and or Mecca. It's like, it doesn't seem to have worked out that badly for you, has it?
sort of sitting there in abject silence while Miss and Andrew just kind of hold me up. And they're like, you can do this. You're strong enough to do this. And I don't think I could have done this without you guys.
Well, you've got more love and support than you think. So.
Oh, yeah.
You got a ton of it here tonight. Absolutely tons of it. And see, Roger H., who usually only sends us a thumbs up, even upgraded to a heart tonight. So thank you for that super chat, Roger. Look at that. Jackie Mendes, thank you for that very generous super chat. Unsub Midnight's Edge, as I do not want to watch someone who treats women like that. I have seen and heard it too many times in my workplace, and enough is enough. And like we said, that's your decision to make, and we appreciate and love the support. Thank you. And thank you for being here and believing what we have to say and taking it as seriously as we do. That's all we can ask, and everyone to listen, to take it seriously, and to make up your own mind. So thank you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna. If you tell me I unsub Midnight's Edge, I'm not gonna remain 1,000% neutral and go,
nope.
Okay, I'm gonna go, cool, sweet, yay. But if you tell me I'm gonna stay subbed, if you tell me fuck you, I'm gonna only be subbed to them, and I'm gonna unsub from you, okay, I'm not gonna lose my shit or get upset over it.
Yeah. No, I'm honestly not mad at anybody who makes that choice for themselves. Because at the end of the day, you have to make your own choices. I gave you my information. I told you what happened. I told you what's been going on for the last year and a half, and I've been honest. I can promise you that. I have not lied to anyone tonight. Not about anything. There's nothing that has come out of my mouth.
Well, I'm not so... well, I would say... I might say that she was lying, but like I said, it's like, I don't know that she really is. That's the whole thing. It's like, it's not necessarily that she's lying. It's that she does not know what she's talking about. It's... I mean, you can... not be lying. Give me a new tab here. It's with iCheek is 0. Is that what that says?
It's untrue. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to. I understand. Pixar didn't happen, and that's fine. But I didn't say these things for my health, and I'm not walking away from a 200K channel because it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hargrave says, I like to hear both sides, and I see one side giving context in detail, with proof, with 4 people. Now the other side, I'm open to hear what it is. It makes me wonder. Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing too, is we've pretty much all said it. I personally, after tonight, I feel like I've said everything I've needed to say. I've been involved as much as I need to be involved, and I don't have any intention of continuing to carry this on publicly in any way unless more things are brought to my doorstep that I need to deal with in that fashion. and I'm assuming probably that's going to kind of be the case here. And I agree with you, Hargrave.
Well,
and I'm glad that you appreciate the way that we brought it forward.
I don't know how
We're
to.
not here on a witch hunt. We're not here trying to cancel or ruin or destroy anybody, but we've had something to say. We've had a great deal of proof. We've got a large a paper trail of examples, and you have radio silence from the other side.
I don't know how many subscribers
At some point,
she has. She's got
at some point they do need to say something. At some point, Midnight as a channel needs to take a stand on this, needs to decide where they stand on it, because their audience deserves a statement at the very least. Their audience deserves, I believe, their take on what happened. They deserve to
for
be
the
told,
latest
even in
Babe
brevity,
Menace. That's not
what their stance is on what happened. This is too big to just be swept under the rug. And but it's not for me to decide what they're going to do or to say what they're going to do, and it's not for me to decide how you judge them for it.
Well, it's funny.
And I want to make something clear.
Pangea?
Again, I know I've said this once or twice already, but again, the chat changes and rolls around and all of that jazz, and I get it. I do
I
not
think I've ever
hold
watched that.
Rob personally
hearing
responsible for this. I do
Testify
not
or
hold
whoever the fuck
the
talking
channel
about it, and I'm like,
of Midnight's
what is this
Edge
Pangea nonsense
responsible.
that they
Right? That's
keep
not
mentioning?
what's happening here. I'm not the harbinger of the death for the channel of Midnight's Edge. I don't actually have any desire to see Midnight's Edge itself have any kind of backlash per se. I'm only saying that so long as Tom is on Toxic
Anybody
Frenzy, I will
knows
not be
how to
on
look her
the
up on
stream
social
with
blade so
Tom
we can
moving
see
forward. I am disconnecting myself
what her
from
channel
Tom. And if that
actually
means
did. Let me
that
know.
I cannot be a part of toxic femininity, and inevitably that's what that means. From toxic femininity, I will not be.
Mecca is in the chat. I'm not outing anyone who has come to me in my DMs about Tom. If they want to, they are influential enough to come forward. Okay.
On a stream with Tom moving forward. I am disconnecting myself from.
And then she says, Rob is not involved in the Tom drama, but Tom has tried to give Rob an ultimatum about me. Well, I mean, you've become toxic and damaging to Tom's brand, so, you know, it's not entirely unreasonable for him to feel like, yeah, or it's a bad idea for Rob to be who's part of Midnight's Edge to be associated with you. Of course, again, it's like Tom, frankly, should have seen this coming. He should have taken one look at your bright red hair and said, yeah, we don't want to have anything to do with this bitch. He should have, but he didn't. Oh well.
From Tom. And if that means that I cannot be a part of toxic femininity, and inevitably that's what that means, because it turns out that this stream, this baby that I thought was my baby, that I was told was every bit as much mine as Tom's, isn't. And so it turns out that when I walk away from Tom, that means stepping away from toxic.
I think I mentioned previously that I guess she didn't have kids. Now she after I said that, I realized, thinking of it later, I was like, oh, wait, she has said that she had a foster kid or something, so I don't know. I mean, but I don't know. There's something really weird about a woman talking about, something being her baby other than an actual baby. Just to me, that seems really weird. It seems like that means you don't have a kid, and obviously she doesn't, I guess, have a biological child. So she has a foster child, which I hope she cares for the foster child. I hope she cares for it well. But, like I said, there's just something off about talking about a fucking, YouTube show being your baby and talking about it as though you're as emotionally attached to it as some people are to their children. I mean, it's just like, whoa. I don't know. Seems freaky, but whatever.
Femininity. It turns out that this thing isn't really mine, or at least not like I was told that it was, and that's fine because it's not my channel. But I am stepping away from Tom, and I know that means losing toxic femininity.
There's Christopher Maple. Sorry, long-time lurker. Her. Here, perhaps. So take this with a grain of salt. But as a man who has suffered from physical and emotional abuse from childhood, and with exes in adulthood, abusers can be platonic. Okay.
I don't hate Midnight's Edge. I cannot be around Tom. I do not hate Rob. I do not hold Rob accountable. I cannot be around Tom. I love Mandy. I love Lorena. I cannot be around Tom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. If I haven't been...
Super Simp says, this thing is what happened to Collider. Look at that channel now. I never did, so... don't care, don't know, whatever. Mecca says, did he do the "it's your show" crap to you like he did for Ladies' Night? Well, look, the thing is, if it was on his channel, then you should have known that, of course, it's not your show. Because it's not on your channel. You know, especially if it's never on your channel. If, you know, you might, if it's like the Inquisition with Gary and Doomcock, where every week it's you know, they switch back and forth between whose channel it is, then it's like, yeah, it belongs to both of you. Like, that makes sense. And if it's on your channel exclusively, like Friday Night Tights is or whatever, then that's not a Gary and Jeremy thing. That's a Gary thing. It's like, that's his show. You know, Jeremy may be there all the time, but it's Gary's show, and if, you know, if Jeremy wants to, you know, cancel Tom off of it or something, not, you know, I'm not suggesting that there's anything like that going on, just saying that if he did, it's like, it'd be entirely up to Gary, and if Gary's like, no, we're keeping him, then, you know, it's not anybody else's place to say. You know, I would think that that's how that works. And if you have a show that is on somebody else's channel, and yeah, ostensibly you're supposed to be, you know, the star, as it were, but it's on their channel, then you really kind of need to look at it, I guess, like some Hollywood starlet on her show on such and such network. It's like, the network owns the show, not you. You're there to be the star. You can feel like it's your show all you want, and they want you to feel that way, but it's not really yours. Like, you're ultimately, at the end of the day, you're just working there, you know. You're you know, and, you know, anyway, I would think that would be fairly self-explanatory, but it doesn't seem like these people, you know, figured any of this out for themselves. They're just like, oh, you said it was mine, that means it's mine. It's like, use some fucking common sense, ladies. Come on.
Clear enough. This is what I'm saying. I'm not asking for a fandom Menace-wide war and people taking sides. I'm saying one thing and one thing only. I have to get the fuck away from Tom. That's it. And this is why. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and this, like I said, I'm stepping away too because I can't be around this abuse. I started seeing it myself firsthand. I don't support it.
Oh boy, more of these ass wipes. Yeah, what the hell? Defend yourself or make a statement. Midnight's Edge or Tom, make a statement. Say something here. I'm forced to agree with Jesse/Mary/OG Star Wars/Mecca because I've heard no valid defense. Well, as I've said, I think by this point it was pretty obvious that the fix was in. All the women were, you know, were saying that Tom's a piece of shit. Fuck Tom. And most of the people are siding with the crying women, you know, over the guy that's being accused. So it wouldn't matter whether he's guilty or not, honestly. I don't think it does to these people. And some of them are giving lip service to this, so you should say something. It's like, I don't think that it helps him. Nothing that Tom could have said would have actually aided him. You know, if he said the wrong thing, it might hurt him, but even if he said all the right things, don't think it's going to help him. It's like the people who are inclined to believe that he needs to be, you know, canceled or whatever, you know, whatever you want to say. It's like they need to unsub from him. They don't want to, you know, they don't want to ever see him again or whatever. Those types of people they've already made up their minds. They've already decided to side with the crying females. And all the people who are not so inclined are, well, either like me, a neutral party who doesn't really fucking pay attention to any of them. It's like, I don't watch Mary Mayhem's channel, I don't watch Tom's channel, I don't watch Jesse's channel except for these, you know, late, you know, streams lately. I watched her years ago, but, you know, Anyway, same essentially applies to Mecha. It's like I used to watch her years ago, but I don't pay any attention to her anymore, except for when crap like this crops up and I hear about it. Anyway, but like I said, it's like people are not inclined to believe automatically that oh yeah, Tom must be a bastard. They're either going to stick with him if they're a viewer or whatever, or like me, they weren't a viewer, and this doesn't change my opinion of him one way or the other. So, anyway.
It has nothing to do against Midnight's Edge, against the ladies. Again, I love them as well. They're amazing. So I stand
Good
like
God.
where it is in this situation. It's
Black Phoenix says they love Mandy's
my own moral
voice.
standards to condone something like
really?
that.
Mandy?
We
Okay.
discussed it earlier, Laura.
Okay,
I don't know if you found out whether
whatever.
it was okay to-
Weird Name says, and Tom has DM'd all the community about this. Has he? That seems unlikely. The entire community? How many thousands of people are involved in this fucking community? It's like, yep, Tom DM'd them all. All of them. Besides making it public in live stream and Twitter, and Gary seems to be involved in banning Mecha. Well, that's honestly just good sense at this point, or at that, by the point of this, when this stream occurred a month ago or whatever. By that time it was clear that, distancing yourself from Mecha is a good idea, so can't blame Gary on that one. So Friday Night Sites has to address this one way or another. No, they don't. They don't have to do shit, motherfucker. Where do you get off telling people they have to address something? It's like, they don't. I mean, you can offer your opinion on whether or not they should, but you suggesting that they must. It's like, no, they don't have to do a goddamn thing if they don't want to.
To repeat that thing that we discussed about you and Stieg and the thing that would happen if you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Stig did share it in the chat earlier, and I did repeat some of it. But in that situation is when in that conversation, it was a debate on the team. It was a debate on Star Wars and George's like having everything planned out, that kind of debate and stuff. And I got into it with Script Doctor. And again, like I said,
George never had anything planned all out. If you're talking about George Lucas and Star Wars, it's like he never had anything fully planned out. Although, as I think I've mentioned this before, haven't I? At some point, probably. That, yeah, I know I'm bad at giving these asides that go on, but anyway, but just as a note here about Star Wars, if you pay careful attention, you'll notice that some of the little bitty hints that exist in the first movie about the Clone Wars, the basically just Obi-Wan's dialogue is all you get to suggest what came before, and what the backstory was before you ever got the prequels or anything, long before. Anyway, but it's very clear that George's original ideas, it's like he didn't have it planned out, but his original ideas, his rough ideas that he had in his head for what the Clone Wars were supposed to be about, and so on and so forth, you could kind of tell that story was completely different from the one that we eventually got. So I would argue that if you feel like it, you can easily justify setting the prequels aside as a separate continuity, if you wish, for you personally, because they really they don't actually fit. And frankly, based on that little bit of dialogue that you get from Obi-Wan in Episode 4, a lot of people, whether they were writing books or designing games or whether they were just fans discussing it, all kind of developed this idea in their heads about, the basics of what maybe the Clone Wars were about. And that basic concept was, frankly, better than what we got. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just one of those things that happens. Mecha says, Andre has tried to bully Rob into saying who might come forward against them. Well, asking your employee what kind of bullshit can we expect from assholes, that's not unreasonable. I don't know about bully. Of course, this is Mecha we're talking about, so God only knows what she means by bullying. This was right after I came forward.
it got very heated. I was like, I just need to end this because we're not going anywhere. So I blocked him. I did. I needed to do it just for my own
And
peace of
Black
mind and
Phoenix
stuff.
again.
Well, and
Veronica's
Stig was
a
a part of that
chump.
conversation.
I never liked
and
him.
So after that, all that happened, I was hounded by Tom about that, and then Stig was too. But Stig,
I can't say for sure anything one way or the other about Gary. I don't know if he's a good person or bad person or whatever, but certainly, I don't know. It's just, some of these people seem to have, a lot of hate for Gary, and others have quite a bit of love. So I don't know. It's. I didn't realize that Gary was a very polarizing figure. I mean, I always considered him kind of meh, Doesn't inspire particularly strong feelings in me one way or the other. I find it a little odd that so many people apparently either really like him or really don't.
he basically told Stig that if it's not resolved and everything like that, then I would be that it would affect me being on Toxic Femme. So I would be kicked off or fired or what have you. And just because I decided to just take my stance and quiet a conversation that wasn't going anywhere that could lead to potential more heat.
Yeah.
So
To do the right thing by the show.
yeah, and so he basically threatened my position on Toxic Femme.
I don't quite understand what Trevor White means. The Fandom Menace should never have started and continues. It's like, what does that mean? I mean, that it never should have started. Okay, all right. But, I guess that's a valid position to take. But, that statement doesn't make any sense. It should never have started and continues. Like, what? It's kind of like that thing that George does. George Peter Gatsis. I don't know if it's something from his comic or just something that from some lore from his channel or something. I don't know, but he keeps on saying something and then he adds so far or whatever, and it's like sometimes that fits with what you're saying, but most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time it just seems like you stuck that in there because it's like it's some sort of signature sign off for you or something, and it doesn't but it doesn't really. I don't know. It's weird.
And
but George is weird.
This
so
wasn't resolved, and that I would go unlock Script Doctor because that was a bad look for me. And mind you, I did that temporarily, but if no one would have known, because I do that a lot to to people that I have acquaintance with, and then
White Phoenix says, "I'm so sorry, Mary." Crying face emoji, and Black Phoenix says, "Wait, there's a White Phoenix now." Sometimes the chat is unexpectedly funny. I don't know. Was I not paying close enough attention? I don't remember exactly what it was that OG Star Wars is complaining about. She's saying something about, some shit about, Tom threatened to throw her off the show or whatever, but I guess I missed what it was that she was doing. Was it just a disagreement over something, over some bullshit, or I don't know. I mean, if whatever it was like a, toe the company line thing, then it's like, well, it's not really that, it's not really that weird, is it? That somebody would have that sort of position on something. But like I said, I kind of missed whatever the fuck it was that she said about what they were arguing about. So if it was just some stupid, oh well, I don't agree with your take on this Star Wars thing or whatever, then it's like, I don't know, Tom. It's like I'm I don't have a problem with you telling people to toe the company line, but if like, how esoteric is your fucking company line? It's like the company line being we don't badmouth people in such a way that they could sue us or get us thrown off the platform or something. That makes perfect sense. But we have to all be on the same page as far as what we believe in our fan theories crap. It's like, that seems a little odd.
Block it because like I said, I don't want any discourse or whatever. And so basically he's like, well, that's a bad look for me, for doing that, blah blah blah. And mind you, I've never been on any shows with Script Doctor whatsoever. He's never on Toxic Femme, so I didn't see in any way how this could affect anything.
Stig says, "This is true, and I am not even part of Mead. It was weird." And White Phoenix says, at Black Phoenix, "Black and white unite, brother."
I turned out to be the bad guy, while Script Doctor was the good guy in this whole situation. So that in
singing
itself was
Ebony and Ivory in the chat.
That's fucked up. There's I have seen a pattern that I don't like in how people with bigger channels.
Stig, for the record, Script Doctor did nothing wrong. He apologized for all that. Mecca, Tom thinks Script is going to get him a job in Hollywood.
Have ultimately decided who stays and who goes.
Well, frankly, I would say this about people who are hoping to get jobs in Hollywood. One, you're probably delusional because, compared to the number of people that apparently still fucking want a job there for some reason, and the number of jobs that are likely ever going to be available, it's like there's a huge disparity there, so you're probably not going to be one of those who gets a job there. And secondly, I don't think you really want to work at the Hellmouth, really? I mean, do you? It's like you're likely to be fucked over in every possible way because that's just it's an absolute fucking cesspool is what Hollywood is. So I don't understand, it's filled with some of the worst people on earth. So I don't understand why anybody would want to fucking go there.
I do have one other example to give you, and this is one that I've kind of been sitting on trying to decide whether or not I was going to discuss it, and I think I've decided that I will. And I don't know if that's okay. I'll bring it up. But it is the uncomfortable situation I found myself in terms of arguments with Tom on a regular basis in regards to my relationship with my boyfriend, Andrew. I do have a boyfriend, guys. And there were a lot of times where sexualized comments and jokes are made on Toxic Femme that I tend to not partake in, or I tend to be like, okay, so no, I recognize that the dynamic between my boyfriend and I is that probably suck for him to sit there hearing me call some other guy hot, right? And so I opt out of those, or I'll make a joke about, I shouldn't probably say that because it'll make Andrew feel bad, blah blah, right? That's how I choose to deal with that for myself. Also, I'm a grown ass woman.
Yeah, it's
right?
a lot easier. It's a lot easier to talk about other attractive men when you can lean over and kiss your boyfriend on stream.
It's a little different. And I would find myself in situations where Tom would scream at me after streams, after shows, about how my boyfriend is ruining everything, and how it's really hard to get the super chats from guys because I can't make jokes or I can't take a joke. Well, when something is a sexually charged joke and it's uncomfortable and it makes me uncomfortable and it makes my boyfriend uncomfortable, I don't really care whether or not that affects your super chat. I've had a lot of people message me and tell me that they're unhappy and they don't even watch the show anymore because you can't make those kinds of jokes because of your boyfriend, and your boyfriend's oppressive.
Mecca says, super chats for Tom. Followed right hot on her heels with somebody saying, Tom sounds like a pimp. Well, as we've already covered, clearly he didn't have a strong pimp hand, though. Like I don't know for sure, what the truth may or may not have been about all this that she's talking about now, but I would say, obviously there is a monetary incentive for women or for people who have women on their channels as a guest or whatever. There's an incentive there for things to get spicy, shall we say, because having that kind of, it's like, I mean, you're making money. It's like somebody, there are a lot of sick fucks out there and they want to say, they want to say something sexual to a woman. Ooh, a real live woman. They want to say something sexual to them, because they enjoy that, so they're willing to pay for that. And it's like, I understand there's a monetary incentive there to accept things like that. But again, as I'd already said about the whole butt chugging super chat thing that he got, which she claimed not to be upset at the super chatter, only at Tom for carrying on with the joke or something. I would say, to me, it seems just like common courtesy, common decency to kind of be like, yeah, let's not have those guys. It's like, let's not have the innuendos and whatnot, at least not beyond a certain relatively tame point. I don't know that there's, I don't know how you establish beforehand, unless you're just going to disallow all of them. I don't see how you establish clear rules for exactly what's acceptable. But, I mean, if it were me, I think I'd take it one at a time. And it's like, if something seemed at the time that, okay, this doesn't seem appropriate, then I'd either refuse to read it and thank them for the money, or I would, read it with the proviso that, either the women need to, shut off their their headphones for the moment so they don't fucking hear it or something, or go to the back room for or whatever, and then read it out and be like, okay, you can come back now. It's like, it's over, and let's try not to do that, guys. That's kind of, tell the chat, it's kind of gross. Don't do that shit. It's certainly, I mean, again, I don't know for sure, of course, but it certainly sounds like, Tom was perfectly fine with, that kind of super chat. I wouldn't have been. It's like I wouldn't have been, so I would consider that was bad judgment on his part. Monkey Jeebus says, Hollywood sucks. It's just a job. I left when they offered me a job to buy toys for people. Okay. What kind of toys? What kind of people? Sounds weird. Anyway.
And I'm just sitting over there like, wow, that's really not your call, though. I don't really care.
Yeah, occur to him too that irrespective of having a boyfriend, that you as a human being have the right to decide what level of sexualization you would like to endure, what level you're okay with. Like, you guys can send whatever kind of chats you want to. We're not obligated to play along.
No.
You send chats over the line, we can react to it any way we want to. Whether it's respectfully shutting it down, being a dick about it, or going along with it, it's whatever we want to fucking do about it. It is the second you sit there and you're like, oh yeah, you've got to go along, you've got to be more into, like, so what, you have to be a fucking whore for super chat? Like, literally, you're asking me to whore for you. That's what that sounds. That's what that feels like.
Well, and that's the thing. If that's what Tom wants, if he actually wants whores on his channel, then he needs to make that clear, basically in the job description. It's like he needs to seek out women who are perfectly comfortable with being whores, because, quite frankly, there's plenty of them out there. Let's not kid ourselves. There are plenty of whores. There are plenty of women who see nothing wrong with acting that way. So, hey, if they want to, that's fine. It's like, but if they don't want to, then you shouldn't expect them to. Don't expect, it's like if you're dealing with a woman who is more respectable and wishes to remain that way, then respect her respectability, motherfucker, and go look for a whore who will debase herself on a regular basis and won't fucking care, So,
What he made it clear was that I should have been more open to the jokes. And again, this is something I want to make it clear before I say this. I am not dragging Anna into this. I am simply telling you what Tom said.
She's not dragging Anna now. No, Tom was dragging Anna into things before, even though he didn't. But she's not. She's going to mention Anna, though, so... Oh, man. What a bunch of fucking horseshit. The Super Simp says, it's like how Hollywood hates us as fans, and people, the only way is to go independent and make our own stuff. Oh, that's a statement I actually agree with, oddly enough.
Tom used Anna as an example. Well, if Anna has a boyfriend, and Anna makes jokes about herself and Henry Cavill all the time, why can't you be like that? Fun fact, I'm not Anna. Nor is my relationship Anna's relationship. It is not my fucking business how Anna and her boyfriend
I knew
deal with
Anna
their
was going to come.
or with their relationship, or what makes them comfortable, or what level it is to which they're allowed to say certain things. I don't actually care. And the idea that I should conform to a standard set by Anna is absolutely absurd. Ridiculous. The idea that I should behave the exact same as Anna because Anna did it is ridiculous. Yes, Anna's allowed to croon over Henry Cavill all she wants. I'm not fucking Anna. And the idea that my boyfriend should have to sit there and watch me.
There's one of those lines that you say and you don't realize how it sounds. I'm not fucking Anna, says Mary Mayhem. and no doubt there are some weirdos in the chat or wherever who are watching that are just like, oh, but we wish you would. Oh, Monkey Jeebus says, Anna also eats dirt. Why can't you eat dirt like Anna? Yeah, Anna's really weird, but I mean, yeah, it's like if Tom wants a whore, I mean, he can find one. He can find a whore to be on his channel and act, however he wants. they're out there. You can fucking find them, dude. You know, it's like if Mary's not willing to to whore herself out to your super chatters, then just find a woman who will. You know, although if you go looking specifically for that, be advised they are probably going to demand their cut. You know, they're not gonna basically offer to do it for free like she did.
Coo and goo and gaw over anybody ever in any way, shape, or form besides himself, because you get super chats out of it, is incredibly uncomfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wrong. It is wholly unacceptable for any person, publicly, privately, professionally, or otherwise, to have a say in anybody else's personal relationship in that way. That's not fucking okay.
Yeah, and that pissed me off for that instant right there. You know, because we all have our level of like charm, I guess you could say, in there, and you know,
For the love of God, what is it with this Shadazar dipshit in the chat? Is Tom the next Weinstein or Bill Cosby? I'm sorry. Did Weinstein or Bill Cosby talk over women on the internet and that was the complaint against them? I don't think so. So, I mean, what the... This is ridiculous. These people just go straight to, like I said, people go, you know, they go straight to the extreme.
I do share a lot of risque jokes and stuff, and I'm married, so I don't hardly share my relationship status because it's no one's business. But the thing is that you can't come in and tell me how to act because you make money off of my like promiscuity. That's not right. That is basically that's like, it's a hooker status. It's like a pimp status. It's not good. It's like, oh God, it's almost like saying it was okay to be raped because, you may have liked it a little bit or whatever. It's bullshit. I'm sorry if I used the analogy wrong, but I mean, I just can't find the...
Well, I'm not aware of anyone who's been raped who actually liked it a little bit. It's like, it's just not something that happens, you know? I mean, there's the physical aspect of, and sometimes physical stimulation, blah, 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 but, like, liked it, no. That's not the same thing. It's like your body reacting to, like, that sometimes happens, even with that, being the cause, but liked it, that means you liked it. Like, oh, yes, I'm enjoying myself. Nobody fucking says that when they're being raped. God. I don't know. Fucking weird people saying things like that. Anyway, I don't disagree, of course, with this general point that they're making of, Tom should, it's Mary's business or Mary's boyfriend's business or whatever, about the level of sexualization she's prepared to get into, and not Tom's. It's like, it's like, if that's what Tom was really doing, then he needs to butt the fuck out. It's like, it's not his business. Like I said, if he wants a whore, if he wants to be a pimp, he can be. Like, there's no rule against that, as far as I'm aware. It's like, you can go and you can find a woman to whore herself out on your channel, and you can be like her cyber pimp or whatever to the super chatters. That, to the super johns, whatever you want to call them. It's like, that's, you can do that, Tom, if that's what you want, but you need to find a woman who's willing to volunteer for that. And like I said, she's going to demand her cut. Any woman who's going into it knowing that that's what you want, she's going to be demanding her cut.
Words right now, but it's not proper. It's not, you can't tell anybody, male or female, how they should act for money.
It's just inappropriate. The idea that it is anyone's prerogative to tell me that because some other person who look, I completely and utterly revere Anna. That doesn't mean I'm going to model my life after her, the template of her own. Yeah. I'm in a different relationship with, and look again, I want to make Tom later apologize for this, but Tom ultimately.
Oh, that's weird. The chat, I didn't notice that before. I don't know how many comments on girls' channels I've seen where 12-year-old kids, and probably grown men, is that one and the same, or is that separate? I don't know. Say, oh, she has a boyfriend, unsubbed. LOL, it's pathetic. It's fucking weird is what it is. It's like, why does it matter? It's on the fucking internet, guys. Come on. Jeez.
Has always come back with, oh, I'm really sorry, please come back, blah, 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 which is why it's a pattern of abuse. So forgive me if I take that apology with a grain of salt. When it's an apology in a long line of apologies that are ultimately only exist in order to get me back on the channel so that I can do the job that Tom wants me to do.
Mhm.
It should never have happened. It should never have happened. It's inappropriate.
Oh my god, the fucking Super Simp just won't quit. Tom, you're a damn fool, and I condemn your actions as unbecoming and unprofessional. Don't you dare cross that line. Who is this weirdo? I don't know. There's something so weird about some random nobody, saying these things as though they have they're speaking with some sort of authority or something. It's so weird.
I do not care whether or not someone super chats you sexually on my behalf. That is a super chat that can be done without. Considering that I told Tom, I want to be clear about this. This is not me telling Tom this is not me saying Tom told me I should jiggle. This is something that happened a long time ago. When I first started my channel, I did this thing, and Mecca jiggles on her channel, and Mecca and I were really close back then, and Mecca would come over my channel, and she was trying to put together money to go to Star Trek convention. And at the time, because I wasn't seeing any of that money, I actually didn't mind doing a little jiggle, right, to kind of help Mecca, right? And then all of that money would go to Mecca, which was a friend on my channel. And then I got monetized, and I told Tom I was really uncomfortable with the jiggle thing because now I'm being paid. This money is going in my pocket, and it feels kind of gross, right? So considering that Tom knew that I had a line, right, and that I would draw that line for myself in certain places, and it was okay to draw that line on my channel where I was the one that would no longer be receiving those super chats, but on his, I need to fudge that line a bit. No, Mecca, you never made me feel like I had to jiggle. I'm a grown-ass woman. I made that choice on my own. That's not what I'm saying at all. You never made me feel like that. I wanted to help you. The dynamic change.
So Mary is perfectly fine with whoring herself out to help a friend, but whoring herself out to help herself, not so much. Or her whoring herself out to help Tom, no. Okay. Obviously Mecca she's perfectly comfortable with acting a little bit like a whore. The low cut top, the jiggle, she's willing to go that far. Like, I don't pay enough attention to know for sure, but I'm guessing probably she doesn't get a whole lot of highly sexual super chats, and I'd be willing to bet that if she did, any of them that went over the line, she'd be like, thank you for the money, fuck off, I'm not reading that, you sick perv. So, probably. So anyway, it's like, but, that's the way it should be. Women should set their own boundaries.
Changed when the money went into my pocket. It was no longer helping a friend. It was me doing something that made me uncomfortable. Yeah, Thomas remembers. It's really weird how when that dynamic changed and Tom was like, yeah, no, you should totally not do it. But the money was my channel and it wasn't money he would miss. It was okay for me to say no. But when it's his channel and the money's going into his pocket, I can't say no anymore. Why is that?
It's not fucking okay.
Well, you absolutely could say no.
Not fucking okay is what it fucking is. I agree with this next super chat from the Batsman, though. Cody says,
yeah, I kept thinking that Jessie was either crying or she's just just losing her voice or whatever. But I believe she said at some point in here that apparently she's taking hits off a bong. So that's why her voice is so bad. It's like, she's God. Oh.
Mary, I really think you're going to have more success outside of that organization. You have the capability to outgrow them. Things happen for a reason. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. You're not going anywhere in this community, and people are going to, I think, see more of you, not less. So.
I appreciate you attempting to help assuage my fears.
Mecca says,
again, this isn't
Tom
happening right
gets
now
so mad
to garner views.
when you don't make his money for him.
The main reason why I'm doing this on Jesse's channel is because I want there to be no question about I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm not looking for anything out of this. I appreciate you attempting to assuage my fears. I'm going to do my best to be worthy of the views, independent of what it is that Tom can offer me. That's all I'll say.
Is Tom banned from the High Council now? Yes.
Amen. Anthony Shirley, thank you. Just want to send this in support.
And we don't know whether that was Jeff's decision or whether that was basically Jesse's decision. Whether Jesse made that decision for Jeff and said, "Yep, you need to throw that fucker off." But yeah, he was not back on the High Council after that. I mistakenly said that, I think, in a previous video that he stayed on the High Council. I meant to say he stayed on Friday Night Tights.
Support of Mary, thank you so much. Larry says, greetings to Jesse, Laura, Mary, Mecca, big smiley face. That smiley face is now turned into Larry running out of tissues. I was reading that in the chat just a little while ago, so thank you, Larry, for your support and your love. Double, Mary, he says. Double, Mary. Lady Tariel says, no one is a coward that stands up and says their truth even in fear. I agree. Mm-hmm. Lacking Levels says, will you be showing any of these DMs as proof or anything that Thomas said in private, or have you already? No, we addressed that earlier, Lacking Levels. So When Mecca came out and talked about what happened with her, she showed a lot of DMs. A lot of people got very, very grumpy and started screaming and yelling about, how dare you show DMs, how dare you show DMs, how dare you show DMs. And when I was discussing things on my channel yesterday, a lot of people yelling and screaming at me, show us proof, show us proof, show us proof. So there's no...
They make a big deal about that, like it's up to, the public to determine whether or not they should share DMs. It's like, no, you need to make that fucking judgment call yourself, Jesse. You need to decide, do I want to show evidence or not? If you decide not to, that's fine, but don't be surprised when people don't fucking believe you. If you do decide to show the evidence, then don't be surprised or let it, in any way weigh in on how you feel about what you've done, that people bitch, oh, you shouldn't show DMs. It's like, that's, let them get butthurt over you showing DMs if they want. It doesn't matter. It's like, you need to ignore those people if they complain. If you decide to show the fucking evidence, and the evidence happens to be DMs or whatever, then show it. Make a decision one way or the other. But absolutely do not do the flip-flop thing. That's a really bad move. To be like, oh, I'm going to start showing DMs, and then when I get pushback on that, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm not going to show any more evidence because, people bitched at me for doing so. It's like, your job is not to make those people happy. I mean, most of the time you seem to understand that. Most of the time you seem to be very much of the opinion that it's not your goddamn job to make anybody else happy. Fuck everybody else seems to be your opinion a lot of the time. But then suddenly when it comes to showing evidence, like, oh, well, I pissed some people off, and not the people whose DMs I was sharing, but just random, audience members got pissed off at me. And so I decided to stop showing evidence. It's like, you shouldn't have done that. It's like, make the decision and then stick with it.
You saw DMs on one hand, you're not seeing DMs on another hand, so you get to pick and choose. Everyone gets to pick somebody who's the morally virtuous, whatever person. It is what it is. If you desperately require that level of proof, you can contact people individually and personally, and we can decide whether we're going to
I'm absolutely not. I am not going to deny the option of potentially forking over a proof, as it were. All right. I'm not saying that that's not an option or not a possibility.
Which, honestly, doesn't that seem like a really weird thing? It's like they say if people want proof, it's like, which people are you talking about? I mean, are you talking about, like, I don't know, pick a random Fandom, Menace, or whatever, Doomcock. If Doomcock wants proof, is he's supposed to contact Mary Mayhem and be like, hey, can you share DMs or something with me so that I can see, your evidence? I mean, is that what they're suggesting, or are they just suggesting any random audience member, like myself, should contact them and ask for proof? And it's like, I mean, that seems really weird to me. It's like, I'm not sure how comfortable I am, contacting people at random and being like, hey, give me some proof of, give me some evidence of this bullshit that's going on right now. And, and even if I didn't feel like that's a little inappropriate, it's a little weird for me to be going to, to somebody that I don't know, that I have no real reason to contact other than that, and ask for evidence. And then it's like, even if I did, would she give it to me? Or would she check to see who I'm following and be like, you follow Testify, that shitbag? Or somebody else that she doesn't like, and be like, hey, you're not doing it in good faith, blah, 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 and you get nothing. It's like, okay. I mean, it's just, like I said, either show nobody or show everybody. Pick one.
Here's what I am saying. I am not going to publicly post DMs or
and that's exactly what you should do.
Text messages,
you should,
or phone calls, or anything.
You should
to that
either,
effect.
like I said, you should either show no one, including in private. At least not if it's going to be like just anybody, just any random person who asks. But it's like either you don't do any basically evidence sharing, or you show it to everybody so that everybody knows. Like, it really kind of should be one or the other. It shouldn't be this bullshit of, I'm not going to do it publicly, but
because people have made it a point to say that that's inappropriate, and perhaps it is. So if you require proof of the things that I say, then
evidence, not proof.
I am happy to engage on an individual basis. That I know what that means for you. That means a fucking shit ton of DMs and messages and can I see. That's a nightmare for me, but I'm trying to avoid the allegation of publicly posting DMs. Well,
why do you care?
Or pics or it didn't happen, or don't post your DM publicly, which is the right way. I don't fucking know. This is hard to navigate. This is
but why do you care? Why do you fucking care what they say? This is just like, to a certain extent, this is just like the thing with Tom. It's like, why do you care? Why do you care what his opinion is? It's like, you need to make up your own goddamn mind, and then and make your decision, and then stick with it. That's all you need to do. For all of this shit. It's, stop trying to please everybody or whatever. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. So just give it up. Just do to suit yourself, I guess, or whatever, and try. Hopefully suiting yourself doesn't equal being a piece of shit, because nobody likes a piece of shit. But, it's not possible to please everybody, but sometimes you can actually manage to piss everybody off. So, anyway. But yeah, it's like, just make a decision. Like I said, it's like, make a decision. Either you're willing to put up with Tom's crap or you're not. And you stay or you go. Pick one. You are going to release evidence or you're not. One or the other. Pick one. But make a fucking decision, and then don't get upset because other people are not happy with the decision that you made. It was your decision to make, so make it and stand by it.
Really fucking hard to navigate, guys. I don't know what I'm doing here. Turns out I don't go on a live stream and cause a bunch of shit every other day, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here.
Should I was about to make a joke. I was like, I'm not even going to say another YouTuber thing. Less like dragged into it. And there's people in our community who have a lot of experience being involved in drama every other day, so you should call up one of them, and I'm sure they'll have some good advice.
Do an interview. 101.
Exactly. Someone should make a course. Stone Cold Jeremy, thank you so much for the super sticker for the Doomicorn. Mary, you got one in you?
Oh, I got a different one for you. You want a different one?
Sure.
Here. I'm gonna kick in the doom.
I like it.
I
love Doomicorn.
Hilarious.
He's his best friend. Yeah. Pancake is listening to the stream, and he wants you to know you have his full support. I support all the women and all the people, and not Tom.
I saw you, by the way, in the chat, Justin. Thank you for being here.
The Fochung Esquire says the quote fame went to his head. Yeah, I think that's been part of one of the factors involved. I think that isn't part of it. J. Ando Force says plain decency is better than safe spaces. They fucking meant to that.
Okay, let me rephrase that, because I see Zephyr Jones say the term "pics" or "it didn't happen" is a joke based on being so cynical you don't believe them. You shouldn't base what you do on that joke. I hear you, but to deny the fact that we've had an entire community in an uproar for the last 24 plus hours saying it's not okay to show your receipts, right? Where people, it's not okay to show your DMs. But prior to that, would have said, "I need receipts." That's what I'm saying. People telling me, keep pictures, keep screenshots, keep your receipts, right? Receipts. Do I have receipts? Yeah, I've got receipts. I'm not going to post them publicly. And I think that's.
I have them, but you can't see them.
I concur. I don't think anyone has a problem with that. Then they are just thirsty for drama.
Well, and I also have a corroborator here. Alora saw so much of this. Alora was there. I'm not sitting here by myself asking you to listen and believe. Yeah. I have corroborators. I have people who were there for it.
Yep.
I'm not asking you to listen and believe. I'm telling you what happened. And there are people in this chat who are people literally in this chat who are like, yeah, I was there, I saw it. Mm-hmm. Alora, who was sitting here, who was with me, yeah, I was there, I saw it. Yep. I'm not asking you to listen and believe. I have witnesses. I'm not asking you to just believe me. I'm telling you what happened. And you can do with that what you like.
Yep.
Just not seeking validation.
Exactly. That's not what this is about. Well, Debbie Moore's tapeworm says, well, Mary, if you ever need a tapeworm, I'm here for you. And Debbie sharing.
And don't tapeworms make you lose weight?
They do.
I could lose 5 pounds.
Okay.
That's disgusting.
I'm trying to eat here, and you're like, tapeworms. Almost spit out my food.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh, Debbie Moore's tapeworm. Dear Lord, where did you come from? Don't answer that question. Wins Phantoms says, hail the effing Fandom Menace. We endure. March on. Damn straight, Wins Phantoms. Ain't got no time for this bullshit. Ain't got no place for this bullshit. Zach C, thank you for the super sticker. The Shiba Inu farting hearts. Thank you so much. Xenomorph Skull Hunter, you were the last super chat. And here's the thing about it. Let me see if I can pull it up, get it anywhere. It is not. Oh wait, here it is. Good. I can scroll back far enough in this window. Here's the thing. If you lose it too far, you can't see in certain formatted windows. Yeah. You cannot see the last fucking super chat. So I found it though. He says, "Scorpion voice to Tom. Get out of here." I do Scorpion voice, but I did my best. So. Yeah. Yes.
I haven't made any accusations against Gary or Andre. I want to make that clear. I'm not in.
That's okay. Plenty of people made them for you.
I don't have anything to speak on. I'm not making any accusations against Gary or Andre. That's not what's come out of my mouth. I have said that I've tried to relay to Andre what I think and what's going on, and I'm not sure Andre understood. Again, I'm being honest. Like my ass is already on the line. Okay, there's nothing to fucking lose anymore that I already have in terms of Andre. Here's the deal. Did I try to explain to Andre what was going on? Yeah, but also, I don't have his fucking number. I have his Facebook. I can message him. All right. Did I tell Andre, hey, this is uncomfortable, and we're fighting, and this is what's going on, and this is, and do I believe Andre should have understood the nuance and the dynamic of it? Yeah, I feel like he should have, but I'm willing to accept that it's possible I didn't convey it as well as I should have. I feel there is enough wiggle room for Andre in regards to my experiences with Tom to leave him the benefit of the doubt on my end, and that's all I can say about it.
Mm-hmm. Mary, you're in competition now. Poopin says, I'll take the tapeworm. My head and neck are the same size.
Holy fuck.
Oh my God.
No, I don't believe you.
I mean,
it didn't happen.
Pixar didn't happen. Well, it is very late, and we have been streaming for oh my God, fuck. What timing? Formerly Online. Recap just got here.
Wow. Can we leave the stream up? Can we leave the stream up?
Yeah,
I'm not interested in the whole,
I'm glad they
it's up, it's down,
did.
it's up, it's down. I said what I said. I know what I said. I stand where I stand. We're not.
Shit stays live on my channel.
Well,
everyone knows that. Stuff stays public. So this will be here. This is not going anywhere. The link is everywhere. It's going to sit right here on my channel for you, for whoever else wants to sit, see what's going on. And that is that. Yeah. So any final thoughts before we sleep this fucker off?
Cocaine is a never mind.
Oh,
I
God.
was gonna say, Mike.
I was gonna make a joke. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, but that's. I feel like somebody else did that. I'm making jokes, guys. Like that's all I can do right now. All I can do are make jokes, guys. That's all I got.
We laugh to keep ourselves from crying.
I said what I said. Tom is welcome to rebuttal if he likes, but I think Tom knows that it's true. I think Tom knows. I think Tom knows that the problems. I know Tom knows that the problems we've had are beyond repairing to the point where why am I sitting here when prior to this night for the past month and change things have been quote unquote good between Tom and I? Why am I sitting here when there's not quote unquote provocation in this exact moment? Because
I mean, you said you already told us. You said that you wanted to wait. For some reason, you wanted to wait until things were good between you to throw him under the bus. Now, that doesn't, I mean, to me, that doesn't make any sense. It never did, but that's what you said. You said, oh, I wanted to wait. You know, I don't remember how she phrased it, but essentially what she said was she wanted to wait until things were good between them before she did this. And it's like, okay, you wanted to wait until you were, things between the two of you were just fine before you made them complete and utter shit. Okay, whatever.
don't trust that tomorrow I am safe. I don't trust that tomorrow will be better because the string of actions that led us to this moment in time tell me that I have nothing to rely on in regards to Tom. Not his words, not his actions. Tell me that the apology I received a month and change ago for what went down is any more sincere than the apology I received over a year ago about butt chugging is valid. Because it's just going to happen again. And I don't believe you. And I don't trust you anymore. And I need to get away from you.
The butt checking is just going to happen
again. I don't trust you to
again.
not hurt me.
And no one should ever have to be around a person that makes them feel that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Then
I will
leave.
just end with this as well, is that I don't...
Then leave, and you should have left earlier. What the fuck? It's like, what? Like I said, just the whole, basically she's saying there that, a year and change ago, I basically came to the conclusion that I don't feel comfortable around Tom, the way he does things, and so on and so forth. And it's like, then why did you stay? Why? just fucking go. And of course we know. Like I said, we know why she stayed, because she wanted access. She decided to make that trade-off, and now, she's apparently finally decided that it's not worth it or whatever, or maybe decided that she can make a better deal for herself or whatever. And now she wants everybody to feel sorry for her, that she stayed and put herself through emotional abuse. It's like, yeah, Tom abused me. I could have walked at any time, but I decided not to. So feel sorry for me that I decided to stay there. It's like, okay.
Like I said, I started seeing a lot, stuff started happening to me, and I don't condone that type of behavior. And I wouldn't be true to my morals if I stuck around.
Safe.
And,
Does Tom actually assault people?
The ladies of Toxic Fam, Lorena.
They keep making it sound that way, but I don't think so.
And it has to do with me in general. It just has to do with my standards and not wanting to put up with that, seeing the history of what's been going on. And, I'm thankful to be able to share, my concerns, my grievances, and support and send love and all of that to those who need it. And that's why I'm here. And so again, I'm walking away from toxic fam. So those in the chat who knows me with that, I was on break for school, but I'm not going to return. I can't return. I can't.
And look, here's the thing. If you're, I've been told things in DMs right now. If you're running around with your hair on fire deleting evidence, you're guilty and you know it. You can't deny culpability if you're deleting evidence. You cannot deny, if you are deleting videos to cover your tracks, if you are getting rid of the evidence, you know what you did. Don't tell people you're sorry you didn't know. Don't run that shit. No one's going to believe you. You deleted it. You knew what you were doing.
Because here's the thing: if when someone points to what stream was,
by the way, what evidence? By the way, see, they said all of this. This is May 13th that they did this stream, and they're saying he's deleting evidence, or if he's deleting evidence, then that means he's guilty. Blah 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 blah. And it sounds like Jesse's about to say if people point, people to go to a certain stream or whatever, and then it's not there, and it's like, okay, but you didn't fucking do that. And the man only apparently deleted shit on like the 9th, the 8th to the 9th, I think, is when Social Blade shows that a whole bunch of fucking, if I'm reading it correctly, a whole bunch of fucking views, and I'm guessing that means videos, disappeared off of Midnight's Edge After Dark and Midnight's Edge proper. So it's like, yeah, you had nearly a month to gather your evidence. You had nearly a month that you could have gone back and saved those streams, backed them up on BitChute or something so he couldn't take them down, or save them to your hard drives or whatever, and as nerds, or at the very least pointed it out to other people so that they could go and do that, or they could go and watch them while they were still up or whatever. As near as I can tell, they didn't do any of that shit. And now they're gone. Now, probably, the evidence, so-called, actually has been deleted. If it really was evidence. Don't know. I wasn't going to go back and try to save every goddamn stream they ever had, or watch every stream, at double speed and try to find, something. I'm not, I'm just like, I don't have infinite free time on my hands. So you needed, if they wanted anybody to believe them, they needed to point us to specific streams, specific links, specific timestamps preferably, something for fuck's sake. And as near as I can tell, they didn't. They just relied on everybody believing them, just accusing him just because. And it seems to have worked. It mostly seems to have worked. It, worked out in their favor. So
stream on this day, and that stream is gone.
What the hell am I supposed to do about it?
If that stream is just gone, you're not helping your own case. You're not helping your own case. I'd also like to take a moment, though, to just really, really thank Laura for being here and for going forward with this, because most people in these situations take the easy path, and people might not realize what a big deal it is for her to be here and doing this and risking so much when she could easily have privately gone to Mary and said, I support you, but and people have done that, and I don't hold it against anybody who's done it. People come to me and told me that, giving me that privately they'll support me, publicly they're not going to get involved. I don't hold that against anybody, because I know how much you're risking in doing this. And so the fact that Alora is here and willing to do that speaks volumes about her character and her conviction on it.
Absolutely. I told you, Alora, earlier that I couldn't do this without you holding my hand. And
I'm here for you, darling. I'm here.
We love you, Mary.
Can we throw on Wind Beneath My Wings right now? Is that what happened?
I'm crying. I love you.
I'll give you some levity. Emily says, see ya, wine hose. Debbie Moore's Tapeworm says, please don't hate all parasites. We're not all like Tom. To CJH, thank you so much. And finally, we have Nick McCabe says, I wanted to show some support. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, Nick McCabe. It's incredibly generous. We really appreciate it, and appreciate every single person who's been here to show love and support.
Can I point something out real quick? I'm sorry, before it disappears. No, Terminus, you didn't know I was going to be on the show. Nobody knew I was going to be on the show, and I need you to take that into consideration. You didn't know. Nobody knew. For a year and a half, no one knew. I dealt with this as privately as I humanly could. The reason you don't know, the reason people don't know, and when they bring this up, you should have dealt with this privately. And why? Well, how did nobody know? Because I tried to do this privately, Terminus. That's why you don't know. That's why there are a handful of people in my inner circle.
And yet somehow you failed after a fucking year of supposedly trying.
I was going to be here because I don't believe in the drama, but I do believe in honesty and giving people the truth and the option and the alternative to go. Maybe I want to get in bed with someone who I know can do this person this way.
Yep. We're here for the truth. That's hopefully why you were here too. And thank you for being here. As we've said this whole time, we're not here to tell you what to decide, how to feel, who to subscribe to or unsubscribe to. We're here to state our case, to tell you what we went through, tell you what we experienced, and tell you how we feel about the situation.
Yes, but by expressing that, you're definitely making people decide to unsubscribe from Midnight's Edge, etc., etc. So, Patrick says, no one can be Anna, and I'm quite sure Mary wants to be Mary. Mary is her own character. That's perhaps truer than he meant it to be.
That's all we can do. and accept your love. Thank you, Helma. X8834. We'll give you the last word. You've been wonderful, loving, and supportive all night. Says, love you, ladies. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody, for the love and support. You'll be here. You know where to find us. For further questions or for further loving and supporting. And until the next time, God Empress.
Well, there's that. So, all right. I guess there's not really anything else to say. There wasn't anything, I mean, I tried to address everything as it came up, but anyway. And like I said, it looks like everybody missed their chance to point out things, because it probably now, not an immediate cover-up like they were suggesting was going on, but instead a later house cleaning or whatever after, I guess. It's like, okay, well, these people are no longer working with us, so now let's get rid of all their videos that were on our channel. So, anyway, I guess at this point, it's essentially over, because, like I said, there's not any, there's not any fucking evidence for those streams. If Tom or whoever has now deleted them, then it's like the evidence of whether or not he was actually yelling at them or whatever the fuck is gone. So there's no knowing whether that was real or not. Oh well. All right. That concludes the Cry stream, which concludes, I guess, for the moment. Or almost for the moment. There is one more to go over, which I'll do in a separate video. One more clip of Mecha freaking out. But other than that, I believe we're basically done with the Fandom Menace for the moment. But I say that, yeah, there is something else to cover too. We'll talk about that later. An indication that something is possibly brewing. Maybe not, but maybe. Alright. Until the next one.